everybody?
Good. I don't think I've seen you since Discovery was getting ready to premiere, right. And there was that huge panel with everyone and their mother was on.
Yeah, I know it. 2018 WonderCon, all that. Just
yeah, I think it was 2018 San Diego that I saw you.
Yeah.
Tiny room, lots of people. It was jam-packed. It was jam-packed.
Always epic.
So you're moderating this music panel. Talk a little bit how music as an actor affects your work. You maybe not get to hear it when you're shooting, but when you see the finished product.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think I just keep speaking to the fact that it so every component of post makes or breaks, film and TV. And I have found, and especially very lucky with Jeff Russo, the way he kind of augmented the Klingon plot certainly echoed the epicness. It definitely we didn't have that music on the day, but I think it certainly allows for the next level of storytelling. The music that I let inform me as the actor getting into the performance, I do create playlists for my characters.
Oh, okay.
So while they may not be the scores or the songs that are played during the actual scenes, music is something that I've always loved, and I'm a singer, and I just it's something that really does inspire me. So it's fun to see too, I was listening to this type of music to get me into this character or this scene, and then you see the end product and that's very different, but still kind of shapes the piece. But I definitely observe that a lot, that music can really elevate a performance and elevate a scene, elevate a whole movie.
So who are some of the artists that you tend to listen to on a daily basis?
A good mixture. I've been listening recently a lot of Brandi Carlile. She just got the Visibility Award at the Human Rights Campaign and made a really, really amazing speech there. And I'd always loved her music, but I was kind of I'm going to listen to everything. So I've been going through her stuff. Girl in Red is another favorite. Who else? I love Sia, Pink, those were actually, what was it? Sia, Pink, Florence and the Machine. Those were a lot of my Laurel playlist. And actually, there were a few other ones, but it was the kind of joke, because I would listen to them in the prosthetic trailer when I'm getting my makeup on. And
9 hours later.
Right, exactly. James McKinnon, who is a very kind man, would let me play it for a certain time, and then he was like, "We have listened to this Sia song so many times, Mary. We need to, But luckily, he has a music taste that also suit me. But just a lot of epic girl power. Oh, Demi Lovato, and I don't know if you've seen. There's this very silly video I made when I was in full Laurel to section the first verse of Confident into the chorus. It was near the end, and it was very, very fun. But I do like my female power ramp up sort of stuff. But I have been getting a little more folksy as well. But yeah, it's really fun, to just continue to explore. I've never been good at staying on top of music as much as others. I don't have a full list, but then when I do get into someone, I do like to kind of hear their whole oeuvre.
So you've been off of Discovery now for a while, but you're part of the Star Trek family. Does that still affect your life, your career? You see fans when you come to these kinds of conventions?
It's something that, a lot of the alums told us from the beginning, and it has proven to be true, is that once you're in, you're in. And I think, I was so lucky with Laurel. She got such a substantial arc in the first season, and then kind of, even further into the chancellorship in the second season. She cemented her place in the Klingon world and the Trek world. So it's, there's the Klingon groups that I've gotten to know throughout the world and throughout the country. And then, just a month or so ago, I was on the Star Trek cruise for the third time, and that's a whole, convention for a week. And, teaching Klingon yoga, teaching improv, doing karaoke nights. It's just such a great group of people, and I certainly, as you probably observed, I am a geek at heart, and so I just kind of let everyone know that, and it's become part of me. It's like there's Laurel and there's Mary, and there's definitely a crossover, but I think at this point people are just, excited to have me there because I'm a goofball.
Right.
And I really appreciated that I still get to go to these conventions and see old friends, both, again, the alums, cast members from the past who I've gotten to know, who I've fangirled over, Nana and Terry being number one, like,
right.
It's just great to feel like I'm really a part of their community. And I know that that's not ever really going to change.
Right.
And it really is the gift that keeps giving. They're not kidding.
So, on the topic of fans, are there any specific fan interactions you've had that have just been really meaningful or memorable to you?
Yeah, I mean, so many. I mean, it really is just moving, particularly as an actor, to have any one person say like, "Hey, I really love this moment." I've had a lot of women, particularly after the second season, but obviously Laurel goes through plenty in the first.
Yes.
She gets beat up a lot. Never easy for her. But a lot of women in positions of power speak to me, like if I'm signing at a booth at a convention, just saying that it was meaningful to see the struggle of a woman trying to be in a patriarchal world. And, Laurel did allow for more of that. I mean, the Klingon plot allows for that because of the more patriarchal Klingon society. We get to take a slightly different angle on the politics of gender norms and all that sort of stuff. But those have been always great to really feel like, I mean, and it's always amazing because it's like a woman who like works, in this really high position in the government or science or things like that. And just like Laurel really resonated. I'm like, oh my god, I just like put on prosthetics and they're like actually changing things. So those are always really special. And then I will also say, speaking of the cruise, when the past, all 3 years we did this Klingon rave with Ken Mitchell and his buddies, awesome buddies from Canada. And, Ken has had his diagnosis with ALS, and the past cruise, the 2021, right before everything shut down, he had just publicly announced that he had been diagnosed. He was in his wheelchair for the first time publicly, and we had this rave again that we'd had on the first cruise, and we set it up so that we did like a body surfing thing in the crowd, and everyone had these like glow sticks that were like the time crystals, and with this really intense music and playing the Discovery theme. And again, little do we know how much we're on the precipice of this huge cosmic shift in our world, but that was so meaningful. And then just a month ago, we had another one. He was on the cruise again with these amazing Canadian buddies of his, and it was just great, and all of the different Trek actors showed up and were all dancing on stage, and like, everyone literally and metaphorically lifting him up. So those, I mean, that to me, I would say overall is probably the most significant, because he's been such a significant part of my life, and being on this journey with him, both with Trek and outside of that, has been, incredibly meaningful and difficult, and but also really beautiful. So that to me is like why I love the Trek community, is like it embraces all of our existence, and that, I mean, every episode is always like, it's hard, but also humanity. Like,
right.
So yeah.
Can you have any new projects that we should know about, that you want to tell us about, that you can talk about?
Yes. Well, actually, I'm in pre-production, about to go into filming a short film that my girlfriend Maddie Goff has written, that I'm actually producing with Dr. Erin McDonald, who's the science consultant for all of Trek. And that's how we met. We met through conventions, and
that's
she's
awesome.
one of my best friends, one of our best friends, and her partner, A.A. Ron, actually proposed to her on the cruise.
Oh.
And Maddie and I were like part of the secret team. We were very thrilled. But they're just two of our favorite people, and Erin has been wanting to produce, and so we both really work well to, like, we have a very good Venn diagram, but there's a lot of stuff that, like, her being PhD astrophysics, working with spreadsheets and things like that is my strongest suit, so I'm very grateful for that. But we it ebbs and flows really well, and I really love the script that Maddie's written. It's derived from a feature that she wrote that I really love, and it's the two of us, queer sci-fi, just everything up my alley, and I've just been really empowered to produce more of my own stuff.
Sure.
It's amazing to be a part of something like Trek where I get to witness the cogs in such a big machine and learn what I like and what I don't like, and
Right.
then it's taking the initiative to create the space I want to create. And we've assembled an incredibly inclusive, diverse crew, which I'm just so moved and humbled when I get on our production Zooms and just see the faces of so many different people from different orientations, ethnicities. Like, it's just, that's the room I want to be in. And I think it's obviously representation in front of the camera is important, but behind the scenes, that's shaping the whole project. And I really think that that's something that's so essential because it's about different perspective, different life experiences. So I'm very, very jazzed about this project, and we are gonna film. We've actually driving up or down to Anaheim, wherever from LA, working on our lines, and just it's so fun to be able to have a creative business relationship with people that I also just love as people. So I just really hope that I'll keep doing that, and we're editing it in time to hopefully submit to that next round of festivals. And I think it's a really powerful piece that kind of explores relationships and grief and the way we hold on to things and the way we need to let go of stuff. A lot of themes that I need to work on.
We all need to work on.
Yeah,
It's been a rough 2 years.
Exactly. And I think it really did come out of that. And what is science fiction and fantasy and genre in general, but just like shining a very bright light on certain themes. That's what always draws me into it. So that's the big thing that I'm very excited about.
What's it called?
It's called Every Morning. And hopefully by this time next year at WonderCon, I'll be able to I'll send you the link. Or you'll have already seen it at a festival. But we've just got a great crew, and everyone's just on top of it. We got our Slack. Everybody's talking. It's just fun. I really do just get such joy out of facilitating really awesome groups of people getting together, and it's been fun kind of through the pandemic. It was already something I naturally did, was I would always get people together, or with Trek, I would always host viewing parties when, and so it's just been a very obvious segue that, oh, of course I want to also produce. I also really want to perform, so for me it's about producing stuff that I get to perform in.
Right.
But I'm really excited that now when people ask me my profession, I'm actor producer, and that very much feels like what I'm doing and what I want to keep doing.
Get that PGA after your name.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah,
That's what we need. Thank you so much, Barry.
Thank you.